Hello, 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 and welcome to the Small Biz Better Summit. We are so happy to have you. The last summit of 2019, and we are excited, really excited for such a great year, 2019. So many great Small Biz Better summits, and also really excited about the summits coming up in 2020. So we are super happy here at my company, Social Marquee. And we're just super happy to share this moment with you all. Super happy to jump into the new decade with you all as well. So this is extremely, extremely exciting. We'd love for you all to say hey in the chat, and also let us know where you're coming from, where you're joining us from all over the world. We'd love to give you a quick shout out here on the air. So one thing about the chat, as you are entering information in the chat, you won't be able to see it. We'll be able to see it on our ends. The chat is moderated. So we will see it on our ends. You won't necessarily see it or others participants chat messages on your end, but we will catch those and we'll be able to share those with you all. And I see you're all coming in from all over the world, as we've experienced on the previous summits, which is excellent. So thank you so much for joining us. We have Florida, awesome, because we are from Florida as well, or at least I live in Florida. Our employees are all over the country and all over the world. And we have Michigan. Thank you for joining us from Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I believe one of the cereal plants is there. I never remember which one. Never say the other because it might be the other cereal plant, and I don't remember which cereal plant is in Battle Creek, Michigan. We have we have Massachusetts, excellent. Cali, welcome Cali. We have a lot of clients out in Cali, California, Southern California, the San Diego, Los Angeles, Moore Park, Carlsbad area. So we love that area of the country as well. We love all areas of the country as well. We have Texas joining us. London, hello from London. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Virginia, DC, Washington, DC, awesome. Canada, thank you so much for joining us. In Mexico, we love our neighbors to the north and south. India, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you all. And please, as we continue to go along throughout the day, go ahead and share this free summit with your friends so that they're able to join, share with your colleagues. We're really on a mission to help small businesses be better, do better, and live and grow and give better. So please share this free summit, allow them to get this great information as well as your colleagues, your friends. So we have a great, great Small Business Better Summit in store for you today. We are talking about let's get it in 2020. So as we wrap up 2019, we're not neglecting 2019. We're thanking it for all the great benefits and lessons that it has given to us. And we're also looking forward to how we can use those lessons better in 2020. And so today you'll hear from several speakers about how to do better in 2020, how to really leverage the lessons that you've learned, the success that you've had in 2019 in 2020. So we're really looking forward to that. And of course, we're starting off with my favorite topic, but I'm a little biased, my favorite topic of marketing. And for marketing, what we're going to be talking about are some top marketing trends for 2020. I just salivate at the thought of this because there's so many great things on the horizon. My team and I were always looking for great new things in the marketplace, what's coming up, what we can expect for 2020, what can we expect now, but not only what's working now that we can also expect to work in the not so distant future as well. So we're super excited about that. Super duper excited and super happy about that. And so as we talk about these top marketing trends for 2020, one, I want to encourage you, if you have questions throughout, go ahead and enter them in the chat. We'll be collecting those questions and we will have a live Q&A later in the day at the Small Business Summit. So we're really looking forward to your questions. Please continue to bring those. That really, we get a lot of great commentary from the live Q&As at the end of the summit, and they are just, you guys are so participatory. You have so many questions, and it's great because we really love that interactivity, and we really love learning what it is that you really care about, what you really want to know about, and what's really going on in your world, so that we can address those here at the Small Biz Better Summit. So the top marketing trends of 2020. I wish we could go through the 20 trends of marketing 2020. We actually will have more on this topic because it is such a broad topic, it's such a big topic, and we get a lot of questions about it. What's new, what's big in 2020, what should we be doing? And we're going to cover at least five of those top things that you should be doing right now in your business so that so that you will be ready for utilizing them to their maximum potential in 2020 and beyond. Not just 2020, but also think beyond, think long term. So let's jump right on into it. So before I begin, all of you told us a little bit about where you're from and where you're joining us from. And you probably want to know about who's this guy that's opening up the Small Biz Better Summit for you. And so I'll tell you, hi, I'm Marcus. Yes, the U is capitalized on purpose because at my digital marketing agency, we like to focus on you, the end user, as well as you, the consumer, as well as our clients' clients. We like to focus on them and their user journey. So I am the founder, the owner, and the chief growth strategist of Social Marquee, Better Digital Marketing for Business Growth. Social Marquee, many people think it's a play on my name, Marcus. That actually is just coincidence. Marquee actually stands for marketing quintessence. And so quintessence just means the highest degree of anything that you can achieve. We set the bar, we set the standard as it relates to digital marketing and doing digital marketing better. And so that's actually our tagline, better digital marketing, specifically for business growth. How do you grow your business using these digital marketing tactics and all these great digital marketing trends that are out there? And so I've been a digital marketer now for 20 years, really happy and proud of that. I've actually been doing digital marketing more than half my life. So I actually absolutely love it. And at my digital marketing agency, we are what you call brain and behavior experts. And so this is our USP, or our unique selling proposition. If you're a nonprofit, your unique serving proposition. But all the USP is what distinguishes you from everyone else in the marketplace that in your consumer's eyes does exactly what you do. So it doesn't matter what you do in the world, in the eyes of your consumer, somebody else does that exact same thing that you do. Now, we know it's not true as the business owners, but in their eyes, we have to think about their perspective. Somebody does what you do. And so how can you distinguish yourself to where they choose you over your competitors? And this is something that a lot of people don't spend a lot of time on usually. They'll say, oh, we work with realtors. And a lot of them will say, oh, yeah, well, we have the best. We know have the best agents who know the best pricings and know the best areas. Any real estate agent can say that. What uniquely distinguishes you from all of your competition? And this is something that takes a lot more effort, time, consideration that most businesses don't spend enough time and effort on. So we encourage you to spend time on your unique selling proposition, make it something that's hard for your competition to duplicate. At my agency, our unique selling proposition is we're brain and behavior experts. We study the inner workings of the mind. We study the part of your mind that's always working that you're not even aware that's working, your subconscious mind. And we study how it works and how we can align with the way the subconscious mind works and align that messaging, align those products and services of our clients with their desired clients so that everybody is connected and that everybody can actually grow and benefit from whatever the products and services are that are being offered. So we really do what we call digital marketing at a cellular level, not just a surface level that most digital marketers and most people are actually operating on. Most people are kind of just operating on, hey, yeah, make sure you get a lot of likes and follows on social media and make sure you, post 3 times a day and all these things, which one, they don't necessarily work because a lot of other people are trying to do those things and they only work under certain conditions. And most people are just looking for a quick fix so they can get to something else in their business, and makes sense. We are very busy business owners, right? And so anything that we can do to that is quick, that we can do quickly and move quickly on to the next thing seems like a good thing, but in many cases it's not. So at our agency, we focus on digital marketing at a cellular level, how we can impact and align with our consumers' subconscious minds so that we become a part of their daily habits, their daily activities, their daily behavior, and not just trying to interrupt them with marketing messages. Hey, buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing. That's not what we're about. So digital marketing at a cellular level. And so as I mentioned earlier, our tagline, we are better digital marketing for business growth. All the digital marketing efforts and initiatives that we incorporate are designed specifically for business growth. How do we grow your business leaps and bounds beyond where you currently are? How do we use all of these tactics in digital marketing as kind of a digital marketing recipe, as opposed to just thinking, hey, yeah, I need to send more emails or I need to send more social media. It's like a recipe. You need the right amount of flour, right amount of sugar, right amount of eggs, mixed at the right speed and temperature, baked at the right amount of time, depending on your altitude, cooled down for the right amount of time, and served very well in a very beautiful presentation manner, as opposed to just not, right? So this marketing recipe is what we like to focus on. And our mission at Social Marquee is we are good people helping good people positively impact massively more and more good people. We believe that the more good people in the world that we can help get their message out to more good people just ends up being, I think, is something that we all would love and like. So we're really passionate about what we do, really passionate about using digital marketing for a purpose-driven marketing. We're super duper passionate about that, and so glad to have you all joining us here today. Social Marquee, we are the sponsors of the Small Biz Better Summit, and it is our honor and privilege to host you as often as we do these things. We do these actually pretty often, and based on the demand and based on the response, we're actually going to be doing a lot more. So look out for these coming soon. And we're doing, speaking of which, we're doing another one in January. So look out for the emails on that as well. If you're watching this now, it means you're already on that email listserv, so you'll also get the communication about the future summits that are coming up as well. All right. Without further ado, let us talk about some of the great marketing trends of 2020. I am super excited about this because 2020, actually, we saw so many great innovations, so many great things happening the last several years as it relates to digital marketing, and it's only getting better. A lot more tools, a lot more ways to increase the impact and the effect that digital marketing is allowing us to have for and with our desired target audiences. So I'm super excited about this. I hope you are too. Because of time, we're only going to cover 5 of those top trends, but these are a strong 5. There are many trends, and we'll get to plenty more. If you have questions about these trends, again, go ahead and drop them in the chat box, or also join us live for our live Q&A a little later, and make sure to ask those questions. But even if you have questions now and you are going to join us later, still go ahead and enter those questions now so that we can go ahead and compile those, and you'll be at the top of the list based on those questions that we get for the live Q&A as well. All right, top trends of 2020 or for 2020, starting with number 1. First top trend of 2020 is what we call sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis. Now you might be thinking, what in the world is sentiment? My vocabulary isn't the strongest, as you see. I don't know if I had it in the previous slides, but none of my degrees are in English. So English and me are not friends. My native language, my native tongue is actually Southern. And so sentiment analysis, all sentiment means is just a reaction that you, a particular post gives, or a particular marketing message gives, or that something that you put out there gives. So you'll see this on Facebook a lot. Facebook now allows you to put a feeling behind or with your message. It might something that say feeling excited, feeling motivated, feeling inspired. You can select all of these different types of things. You also in Facebook Lives and on your Facebook posts, you can react. You can give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, a smiley face, an angry face. On YouTube, you can give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. LinkedIn, you can give it all sorts of different reactions. All these are what we call sentiment analysis. And so what this means is platforms are going to be taking a much stronger view on the reaction, on the type of reaction that consumers are giving to content. If they're getting a lot of reaction of the happy versus sad versus the bored, even in some platforms, such as you might be familiar with a webinar platform called Zoom. We use it at our company a lot as well. And on there, you can also select, hey, I'd like you to go faster, or I'd like you to slow down. This is an important concept, or I didn't quite catch it, or you're talking too fast. And you can give feedback right in the middle of the presentation. Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them, Instagram especially, Snapchat, TikTok, all of those platforms are really taking a stronger look at sentiment analysis, because they're really, not only they're big on engagement, meaning how many people are watching your content, how many people are sharing, commenting, liking, all those great things, but when they're doing it, what is their experience like as they are experiencing you? And that sentiment analysis can give us a lot more insight into some of the things that we're looking to reach with our customers, and give us a lot more insight on how to better serve you with future messaging, how to better serve you with future products, how to better serve you with additional webinars, content, blogs, all those great things. And so sentiment analysis is really becoming at the forefront of 2020, and it's really helping people learn and understand a lot more and a lot better what's going on behind the scenes of our customers' mind, why they're making the buying decisions that they're making, how they're making the buying decisions that they're making, and what is the process that they're going through as they're making these buying decisions. So we are super happy to hear about the sentiment analysis and how this has been around. I want you to see this has been around, but as we talk about trends for 2020, this is something that's becoming to the forefront even more strongly. So be on the lookout for sentiment analysis as you are doing your own posts, as you are doing your own things with social media, with your emails, with Facebook and all these other platforms. Make sure you also start to pay a lot more attention to sentiment analysis. Pay attention to how people are reacting, not only that they're engaging, but how they are engaging. Another part of this sentiment analysis, actually look to increase the actually look to ask them about their engagement as well. Ask them about, ask them, hey, how are you feeling? How are you receiving this content? Is this making sense? Ask them questions or probative questions that can help you gauge how your audience is responding to the content that you're delivering at that particular time. So this is a really important trend that we really want you guys and gals to take heed to, take a look at, and make sure you get the full benefit of what sentiment analysis has to offer to you. All right, the second big trend of 2020. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Yeah, if you're drum rolling, I can't hear you because you're all muted. But second big trend of 2020, big marketing trend is, a lot of people say, well, let me give you the trend first and then I'll get into the explanation. Polished interactive emails. So a lot of people are thinking that email isn't as effective because of social media, because of the rise of social media, because of the prevalent nature of social media. A lot of people have kind of kicked email marketing to the curb, or kicked it to the sideline, or just have it to where it's not making as strong as an impact as it should, or they feel it should. This is not the case. Email marketing is by no means dead. It is different, but by no means is email marketing dead. So we really want you to pay attention to your email marketing, and this trend that's coming up is not just the fact of the emails, of the email marketing that you're doing. Is, are you doing email marketing properly? So first of all, one, I love this graphic because it shows several different components, about 8 different components of good quality emails. Make sure they're polite and respectful. That should be, we would hope that people would know that, but you'd be surprised. Polite and respectful emails, make sure they're appropriate. Good spelling, grammar, some things that you're probably familiar with, but some things that you might not be as familiar with. A strong subject line that really entices them to open the email, and make sure they're planned. A lot of people like to send what we call email blasts out. Email blasts aren't necessarily a good thing unless you want to end up in the spam folder, unless you want to end up on the ISP, the Internet Service Provider's block list. Make sure your emails are planned, make sure they're sequenced, and make sure they're segmented. So you should be sending specific emails to specific groups of people, specific time intervals, not just everybody all at once on a whim. All right. And if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, no problem. We go through all of these continually in not only Small Biz Better Summit, but we also have several free webinars where we talk about these things in detail. If you're watching this summit right now, we already have your email, and you're on the email list now to receive those communications in the future for future summits, as well as future free webinars that we do all the time, just because we love doing them. So those are email basics, but now we're talking about polished and interactive emails. It's a trend for 2020. So what a polished email is, a lot of times you might see an email response or an email from somebody trying to keep you engaged with email content, and it just has text in the email. These are not as effective and not as strong of a close rate as we've found with those emails that have a polished presence. And so there's several email templates that you can get that it looks like it's almost like a magazine page where this is actually the form that people will see when they open the email. It's pretty, it's graphical, it has sections, it has it really looks like a magazine that you've picked up off the shelf. It's colorful, it's bright, it's engaging. Now, when you're doing that, make sure you're doing it with good design principles, that you're not overcrowding the email, that email template or anything. You still want to make it sure that it's a nice, clean, crisp, concise message. But having these kind of additions really help capture people's attention, and it really helps kind of break up the monotony of most of the other people who are going to be doing the same boring emails time in and time out. So this is a great trend that we see coming up, those polished emails, but also not just polished emails. The second part of this, interactive emails that not only are polished, but that you can respond with, that you can interact with, that you can give your feedback, that you can click different responses on the emails, and it'll take you to different places on either a landing page, or give you a different part of the email will appear based on what you click on that email. So these are really, really popular trends that can not only help you improve your email marketing, but actually help you improve whatever the result of your email marketing is. Let's say you're sending out a notice for an event that you're having, and you want people to sign up. You having some polished and interactive emails can help that engagement factor and actually help them click through to whatever it is that you're selling, to whatever it is that you're offering. So polished and interactive emails, huge in 2020. This probably is a huge shock because many people think, no, it's all going to social media. It's all, like we said earlier, it's a recipe. You can't have good chocolate chip cookies without flour and sugar. If you just have a chocolate chip cookie with just sugar, I love sweets, and I even think that would be too sweet. So you need both. You need the flour, the sugar, the eggs, the salt. You need all of these things to make that chocolate chip cookie perfect. Same thing with the good digital marketing campaign. You need all of these pieces: email, social media, website, and they all need to work together to form a nice recipe together. All right, so that's trend number 2, polished and interactive emails. Trend number 3, drum roll please. And of course, I can't hear your drum roll because you all are muted. Trend number 3. This probably does not come as a surprise, but let's highlight it anyway. Top trend of 2020, direct messaging is growing. Chat messaging, chatbot messaging. This includes things like Facebook Messenger. It includes WhatsApp. It includes instant direct messaging through Instagram. It includes Facebook Messenger on your website. It includes chatbots on your website. So all of these things are all of these things are part of the direct messaging family. And what it really allows people to do is really get instant access for whatever help they need and whatever communication they need at that particular time. Because we live in such a microwave society, we want everything now. And if we can't have it now, we wanted it yesterday. And so direct messaging actually allows for that capability to happen. Now, a lot of times people use chatbots and automation. Those can work too. Just make sure you're doing it strategically. A lot of times people think, well, people want a response, so I'll just have a chatbot set up. Have you ever interacted with an unmonitored chatbot that just you guys weren't communicating like you should? You wanted something and the chatbot was really just kind of telling you something else, or wouldn't give you the options that you wanted. So automation is good. Just make sure that it's supplemented automation. Have someone from your team or you also supplement that automation and not just have it a one-way street. So direct messaging in all sense of the from all angles is really becoming popular, and it's actually getting better and more prevalent. So you'll see a lot of offers on different chat platforms, on different ways your chat can interact with Facebook, WhatsApp, and your website. Make sure that you are, again, focusing on your strategy to where you have a good direct messaging strategy combined with a good interactive strategy with someone from your team or a real person. A lot of times on some of these chat bots on these websites, you'll actually see people say, hi, my name is whatever, Jill. And yes, I'm a real person in parentheses, because people want to know that they're interacting with a real person. And so make sure you have a balance or have a harmony, even better, automation and people who are monitoring that automation, monitoring those chats, even if it's you, the business owner. A lot of times we get people on these Small Biz Better Summits say, hey, I'm a solopreneur. I'm just starting out. What do? I can't be monitoring that 24/7 a day. And you're right, you can't. You can set up these chat systems where it notifies you every time there's a chat, so you don't necessarily have to be on there all day long. Or maybe it's your assistant that you hire that can help monitor those chats and help make sure that you are delivering constant and make sure that you are delivering constant value to your clients in a real time and real time responses, which is really, really important. All right, so up next. Oh, wait a minute. One more important point about direct messaging. So also be wary that direct messaging is not email marketing. Direct messaging is not email marketing, and do not treat direct messaging like email marketing. This is a huge mistake that we see a lot of people doing. They'll try to treat their Facebook Messenger campaigns like it's email. Don't do that. One, because Facebook will ban you when they see that you're doing that, and they will see it pretty fast because they're really keeping a strong eye on Facebook Messenger. But don't do that, because Messenger, direct messaging, because it's such a high open rate, if people see that you're kind of trying to do them like email, one, they're going to start ignoring your direct messages, which is going to impact, well, Facebook sees that a lot of people aren't opening your direct messages. That makes them come after you even faster. And you don't want the giant Facebook coming at you super fast because people are not engaging with your content. So be responsible with your chat messaging, be responsible with your direct messaging, so that you're not blacklisted by Facebook and WhatsApp, Instagram, direct messaging, on all these things. If you use it properly, it's a great tool. If you misuse it, like most people do, most of the examples that you see out there, people are misusing it. We have a saying here: if you see most people doing it, do the exact opposite. It's almost always true, especially in social media. You'll see a lot of people just doing stuff that they see everybody else doing, and people kind of subconsciously, we think, hey, well, if everybody else is doing it, that many people can't be wrong, so this must be right, let me do it as well. And it's a quick fix because I have a million other things to do. We caution you strongly to do that. Make sure don't do that. If you see a lot of people doing it, you could almost guarantee that you doing the exact opposite is what's going to be effective for you. I love how one of my mentors says the top 1% earners of the world, they earn more than the 99% combined. I said, wow, that is wow. So the top 1% earn more than the 99% combined. But the 99%, you might look at your neighbor, look across the street, and you see everybody else doing the exact same thing. We think there's safety in numbers, but not necessarily the case. So just make sure that you have a strong strategy for your direct messaging. We can help you with that as well. Again, you'll be getting the free, the emails about our free webinars that we have all the time, more free summits where we'll be talking a lot more about chat messaging. We'll be having webinars about chat messaging and direct messaging. So if you're new to this or you're not quite familiar with what we're talking about, don't worry about it. We're going to help you even more along the way. All right. Top trend number 4. Top trend number 4 for 2020 is vlogging. That's right, vlogging. Blogging with a V. V as in Victor. Vlogging is huge. Now, it's probably no surprise that video is huge. Video has been huge for years now. 5 more years. 5 or more years, 6 years, something like that. Video has been huge. Facebook is a big proponent of videos, although they're not as big on it as they were in 2018. It's still kind of a big deal, just not their focal necessarily. YouTube, Instagram, especially TikTok and Snapchat, all of these great platforms, especially the platforms that we see a lot of the younger people using. Video is not new. The fascination with video is not new. Video has been a fascination now in our society for over 100 years now. So no, it's not new. However, and vlogging itself is not new. However, we're seeing a strong comeback on vlogging and people being able to take whatever their niche, take whatever their desire, take whatever they're focused, whatever it is, they're able to really create original and niche focused vlog series, original niche folks podcasts, niche created groups, niche Facebook pages. They're able to do these things and get a lot of attention, a lot of traffic that way, because there's just so much out there. There's so much broad stuff out there. Anytime you can get specific, those people who desire that specificity are just drawn to whatever specificity you have. For example, it's the craziest thing, but a couple of years ago, I started reminiscing about some of my favorite candies. And one of my favorite candies when I was young, I think I was like 8 or 9, was Twix. But it wasn't the regular Twix. It was cookies and cream Twix. And for whatever reason, the geniuses at Mars decided not to continue cookies and cream Twix. So ever since I was 8, I'd always just been having a longing for crisp cookies and cream Twix. A couple of years ago, somehow I was on Facebook and I just, entered cookies and cream Twix. And all of a sudden I saw, whoa, there is a Facebook group specifically for cookies and cream Twix. And we all were literally we would reminisce about cookies and cream Twix. We would do all kinds of stuff about cookies and cream Twix. Lo and behold, there was, Mars just decided to relaunch the cookies and cream Twix maybe a month or so ago. And we were like, the group was just going fanatics. It was like, hey, did you guys learn that Mars just relaunched cookies and cream Twix? And we're talking about it. Where can you get it? Where can you go to get it? And we were all just super duper excited. And so first of all, I will say, when they released the cookies and cream Twix, it wasn't nothing like it was 20, 30 years ago. Let me say that first. But at least the excitement that we had in that niche group, it was really, really impactful. And so that all gets back to my point about vlogging, and vlogging in your specific niche area, vlogging in your specific not only your specific niche area, but blogging where people who are looking for that specificity, they are also in a common community with you because they desire that specificity. You are kind of united amongst a common cause, if you will. So that blogging is really, really impactful. And we really encourage people to get in this a lot more. A lot of times people think, oh, I have to have professional editing, professional whatevers. Not the case at all with blogging. You can start right now with your mobile phone. In fact, we encourage you, start right now with your mobile phone. Behind the scenes types of videos is something that is really huge right now and is going to continue to be huge. A lot of times people don't want to see a professional production. People just want to see you. People just want to see almost a mirror of them, an imperfect mirror of them. And we're all imperfect beings. So it's kind of this fallacy of you got to be perfect on social media, you got to be prim and proper. It's really a fallacy that just helps hinder people. But just be you, just be your authentic, crazy, kooky self on social media and capture it with video. And then we start to amalgamate all of these different videos that you have either on your website or on your social media page, and you are now a vlogger. So this is something that we're going to see take off even more in 2020. It had a great run before, and we're seeing it make a great comeback again. So blogging, extremely powerful. Make sure you just start today on whatever you're interested in. Pick a niche and start vlogging today. All right, and save the best for last. The top 5 marketing trend of 2020. This is my favorite. Drum roll, please. And I guess you can drum roll, but I won't hear you drum rolling because you're all muted. And you won't hear each other drum rolling because y'all are all muted to each other. But drum roll. Top 5, my favorite. Communicating with Gen Z on their own terms. Communicating with Gen Z on their own terms. Why is this my favorite? We have conversations almost daily about Gen Z versus millennials. A lot of times people categorize millennials just as young people. And yes, we are young, but we're also getting older. The oldest millennials this year in 2019 are actually 38 years old. We're almost 40 years old. Beyonce, she was born in 1981. She's among the oldest generation of millennials. Mark Zuckerberg, he's 36 this year. Millennial, myself, I'm 37 this year. Millennials, we're now owning the businesses, we're owning the companies. I remember I was talking with a client, and they say, yes, we want to reach millennials. And my team and I were like, okay, great. So tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do. And so they started talking, and in their talk, they started saying, yeah, so when they're in class and they're taking tests, and we looked up from the notes and like, class, tests. And they're like, yeah, they're in college and they're doing all these things. And we all just kind of, we said, well, thank you so much. We appreciate the compliment. But millennials, we're actually traditional millennials. We're not in college anymore. That's actually Generation Z. Generation Z is the generation behind us, and usually born around 1996, somewhere in there or so. But they're the generation that's actually in college right now, the traditional age that's in college right now. But a lot of times, especially the older generations, baby boomers and even some older Generation X, are like, yeah, millennials just means young people. But a lot of times they don't segment us between millennials and Generation Z. Technically, millennials, we're also divided into two categories as well. There's technically older millennials and younger millennials as well. And we have totally different characteristics. But all of us millennials have totally different characteristics than Generation Z. And if you know some Generation Z, you probably have noticed this yourself as well. So something that we're going to see a lot more in 2020 is communicating with Gen Z on their own terms. So a lot of what we get from baby boomers, Generation X, traditionalists, which is the generation before baby boomers, we get a lot of talk about, hey, well, back in the day, we used to communicate like this, or we used to pick up the phone and call you, or we used to do X, Y, and Z. And sometimes there's a lot of discord between how communication or how something is done today versus how something was done in yesterday or yesteryear or yesterdecade or yestergeneration, right? And there's this discord. And so a lot of what we're seeing a lot more now is how do we how do we find the harmony between these two? But as there continues to be more generations being born and more generations coming about, how do we make sure that both sides can realize, one, that they're on the same side, but actually communicate a lot better and a lot more effectively? And so as we talk about Gen Z and some of the property and some of the characteristics that they're having, we see a lot more of focus, not necessarily on the millennials the way it used to be, or how we used to be the big buzzword, but how now Gen Z is now the big buzzword, and how we're going to have to start communicating with Gen Z a lot more, utilizing a lot more platforms that Gen Z is on, such as Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and all these other platforms. And so this transition, it's just like any other transition. I can remember when my parents were telling me about the old days, and they were telling me about how their parents were saying stuff about the generation that they were when they were born, and how the music was wild and how they were doing, all kind of stuff. I don't know exactly what kind of stuff was going on in the 50s and 60s, but they would always, this discord between the generations, it kind of always existed. And so how we can continue to just make sure we harmonize the discord between the two generations is or between all of these generations is what's really going to become prevalent. I was giving a seminar a couple of days ago, and one thing that came up was how babies are, I said, well, we're talking about Gen Z issues. And I was like, if you really want to be blown for a loop, let's talk about Generation Alpha. And Generation Alpha are they're the kids now. They're in first and second grade and such like that. And these kids literally come out the womb knowing how to swipe an iPad. It's almost like instinctually born in their DNA. They literally come out the womb and like, hey, let's swipe right. Like, it's really kind of crazy. And I've literally seen month-old babies with their mom, and they're swiping on a screen, right? So it's really, the trend is not going to stop. The key to it is how do we learn to harmonize all of these different pieces of the puzzle so that we can all get whatever our goals are. How do we, whatever your goal in business is, how do we learn to work with the different generations to meet their goals, and in so meeting their goals, meet our goals as well. That's all this is about. And so this trend we're going to see a lot more in 2020. Gen Z is just becoming a lot more at the forefront. So I kind of feel like this is, as we say, Gen Z is becoming to the forefront. It really actually kind of puts millennials in I guess, our long-awaited position of of authority almost. We're no longer the college students that people have thought about us being for the last decade. We're like, yeah, we're owning businesses, we're running summits, we're doing all of these great things. And we have so much to contribute to society. I love that it's kind of like almost a becoming of age for millennials, and that focus becoming on Generation Z. Maybe now they can also become of age, at least in the eyes of society, a lot faster. So this is really a celebration. It's really just amazing, just understanding how we can utilize the strengths of all of these generations that are coming and utilize them for the goals that we are trying to achieve with our businesses and our lives, as well as meeting their goals, having them meet their goals at the same time. So learning how to communicate with Gen Z on their own terms is going to be tremendously huge in 2020. Making sure you learn not necessarily the lingo, but make sure you're learning the mindset of Generation Zs, learning the mindset of millennials. And again, while we don't talk about that in this seminar today, nor in the summit today, you're now on our email list. You'll be getting the free webinars that we do all the time, where we talk in greater detail about millennials, Gen Zs, and all those other great things. And I see your questions coming in the chat. We will definitely remember, we will be answering all those questions live on our live Q&A later today as well. You won't be able to see the questions if you've entered them. I see some of you entered them twice. You won't be able to see them because the chat is moderated, but we will be capturing those. So continue to put your questions in the chat. We'll make sure to capture those for our live Q&A that's later today as well. All right, so those are the top 5 trends of 2020. Just run through those real quick for any of you that may have missed. And of course, this replay will also be available for you as well. But sentiment analysis, that was number 1, people analyzing the reactions of your posts, making sure that trend number 2, more interactive and polished email marketing. Email marketing isn't dead. It's not going away. It's just transitioning. It's just different. I almost forgot to say, vlogging. Make sure you're vlogging. Vlogging was number 4. So vlogging, make sure you're vlogging. Take right now your phone, go ahead and start your vlog series right now. It doesn't have to be polished, doesn't have to be prim, but just start now wherever you are. And finally, number 5, Gen Z, communicating with Gen Z. Communicate with Gen Z on their own terms. That's going to become prevalent. So whenever you're having this reaction like this lady here, looking at your wallet, where's your money? Look at where you are look at where you are in your business on adopting and adapting to these trends in 2020. Are you with the curve? Are you ahead of the curve? What help do you need? We're here always to continue to help you with these trends that are coming about. We love these trends. We love talking about all of these great things. So we just look forward to continue to educate you on these trends, continue to educate you on all of the things that are coming up. Speaking of things that are coming up, we have more great sessions coming up for you in the Small Biz Better Summit. So the questions that you have, go ahead and leave those in the chat. The next sessions that are coming up, you'll get the email notifications on how to join those sessions. Those emails are in your box right now as well. And we look forward to hearing your comments, hearing your questions, hearing your reactions on each and every one of the things that we talked about today. If you have questions from previous summits, same thing, leave those in the comments as well so that we can address those. And we hope to see you later for our live Q&As. And before the live Q&As, we have several more sessions coming to you by some great speakers on how to really make the most out of your 2020. So we're happy to bring you this yet another free Small Biz Better Summit. We are so happy, so excited. So make sure to send this out to your friends so they can get the great information as well. We look forward to seeing you on the next session coming up. Again, questions that you have, go ahead and leave in the chat. As soon as we end this now, it'll stay open for another few minutes. If you have a couple more questions that you want to enter in, that we'll answer in the live Q&A. And in the meantime, we will see you at the next session. Small Biz Better, thank you so much for joining us, and see you in the next session.